This is a board of maple I glued up, testing out the Milescraft doweling jig. And I'll have a video on that in the future just to see how good that tool actually is for gluing up. And while I was gluing up this board, I was wondering if it was possible to get this to look shiny and reflective like glass. Now the most I've sanded up to is about 220 grit, and the sandpaper I have just goes up to 320 grit. So I got these 3M buffing pads and I wanted to test out to see how exactly I can get this to look nice and shiny. And if it actually works out, I'll probably use this for a board game in the future. But I'm going to start by sanding it down to 320 grit and hopefully get it nice and smooth. And also what I'll be doing is just leaving one side unsanded, just so I can compare it to the final result to see how much of a glossier finish I can get in the end. So the sandpaper I'll be using is 3M's Extra Cubitron, all the way from 80 grit to 320 grit. So I started off by using the random orbital sander, and it was actually my first time using this orbital sander in a very long time. I normally hand sand my projects, and I forgot how noisy this machine is. So I took out the old hand sanding pad and I finished hand sanding the rest of the grits all the way up to 320. And when I had it to 320, it definitely felt a lot smoother. I finished sanding this board all the way to 320 grit. I can feel it's noticeably soft or smooth compared to this side. And I'm going to compare them both at the end just to see how much of a difference it is. Now what I'm going to do is apply a lacquer finish to this. I want to apply the polyurethane, but unfortunately I only have a matte finish. And my lacquer is semi-gloss, so hopefully the semi-gloss will give a nice sheen. So I'm going to start by putting the first of 3 coats on, and then after I'm going to use the 3M rubbing pads and then buff it out. So I got these triangles to put my boards on to finish, and I gotta say they are the best addition for these workshop by far. So after wiping down the board, I was applying 3 coats of the spray lacquer, and this actually went on pretty evenly. And in between coats, what I did is I checked out my phone's flashlight just to make sure I got even coverage, and if I was missing a spot, I brought out the spray can again, and I got it even finished on the whole board. Three coats of the lacquer have been put on the board now, so I'm going to get the 3M pads out, cut them down to size, and then try and buff it out. I've never done that before, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to start with the maroon pad because I'm pretty sure that's the prep pad, then move on to the ultra fine, and then we'll see if this gets a shine to it. I do have some paste wax at the end. I'm going to paste wax it down just so I can get a little waxy finish on it so things will slide easily. So let's go do that and hopefully I get this done. So it's the same process like before. I'm just buffing the pad in circular motions, and I elected to do this by hand just because I wanted to see how tough it was doing a hand at first, but after a while my arms started to get a little bit tired, so I broke out the power orbital sander again just to finish it off. And yep, this is definitely the application for this because oh my god, it's so much easier when I use this. Once I was done, I just got another shop towel just to clean off the surface before putting on the paste wax, and putting on the paste wax was pretty simple. I just took a bit of it and put it on my shop rag and then just buffed it in circular motions until I got an even coverage. Then after 30 minutes, I came back and wiped it all off. And this actually left a nice waxy coat on it, and it definitely made everything slide and shine. So here's the final result after sanding up to 320 grit and then using the spray lacquer. I think it was semi-gloss spray lacquer. It's hard to see on camera, but there's definitely a shine to this wood compared to the unsanded, well, sanded with 60 grit side. So this was actually a pretty good experiment to see if I can get wood to shine and gloss like glass. It would probably end up a little bit better if I had a gloss finish and then waited longer in between coats. So that will be something for a later project. And the close-ups of this, you might be able to see a little bit better. There's definitely a gloss finish to this, so I'm happy with this results. Now all I have to do is do it to the other side just to make sure that everything's evened out. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.